Calendula, wow.
Doc Jones here from the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine, and it's springtime. And so we're out here getting ready to clean out this calendula bed, but first we're gonna have a treasure hunt. So this is Doc Jones, and this is Homegrown Herbalist's garden manager, Dee Dee, and we're out here working on cleaning up the beds, getting things ready for the spring. The big yellow thing in the sky is almost warm today, isn't it? Almost. So anyway, we're gonna clean out this calendula bed, but first of all, we're gonna collect some seed, because every one of these heads is a seed head that's just full of calendula seeds, all right? Should we get some of those? Here, hold out your hand. Do you like this plant? How come you like it?
Because it kind of helps people.
It does kind of help people. But look, if we take it apart, look at those seeds. What do they look like?
Dragons.
They look like what, like dragon teeth?
Yeah.
They do kind of look like dragon teeth, don't they? Yeah, they're all spiky and pokey, aren't they? Do you know why they're spiky and pokey? Because Calendula loves you, and she thought it was silly for you to poke her in this bed when she should be on the whole property and all the gardens and all the paths and everywhere, right? So she made these little spikes so they'll stick in your sneakers and you can track the seeds around, right? That was friendly, wasn't it? All right, so calendula is a great plant. It's if I only had 5 plants that I could use, it'd probably be on that list. The flower's the medicine, which is nice. My wife's always happier when I walk out to the flower bed with scissors and not with a shovel, right? And so the flower's the medicine, and it's a good antibiotic. It's anti-inflammatory. It accelerates healing. It's got antiviral properties, so it's great in wound poultices. It's great for any kind of bacterial infection, for a lot of kinds of viral infections. It's especially good for herpes viruses. Cold sores is a herpes virus, chicken pox, shingles, that's herpes zoster. And so there's a lot of applications that way, topically and internally, for those issues. But it's just a great plant. It's also good for menstrual cramps. Just a really tremendous plant. Does a lot of things. And it's beautiful. The flowers are golden. Do you know why they call it marigold? It's the common name of calendula is pot marigold. What's a pot?
You hold stuff in it.
Yeah.
You can bake stuff.
Yeah, you cook food, right? And that's why they call it pot marigold, is because people eat it. Especially in the old days, they used to eat it a lot. They'd put it in their soup, and they'd put it in their salad and in their sandwiches and stuff. They thought it was yummy. And the reason they call it marigold is because, remember what the flowers look like? The big orange, beautiful flowers? Sort of like gold, right? And Mary was Jesus's mom. Remember that? And they used to have festivals and parties where they wanted to show how much they loved Mary. So they'd have a big festival, and they'd get all the pretty girls like you, and they'd get the marigold flowers and make little crowns out of the marigold flowers, and the girls would dance and sing songs, and so they called it marigold, right? Because it was the gold flower they used during the Mary festivals. So anyway, that's how it got its name. The Latin name, calendula, comes from the Latin word, which we get the word calendar from. What's a calendar?
Kind of your whole school in it.
Yeah, it's got your school stuff on it, right? That's what a calendar is. And boy, are they a pain in the neck. Anyway, the calendar has all the days of the year on it. And the reason they call this plant calendula is because it will bloom every single day of the year if it's warm enough. In Idaho, it only blooms in the spring and summer. But in Italy, or anywhere where it's warm a lot, in the Mediterranean where it came from, it blooms every day all the time, every day of the calendar. So that's why they call it calendula. And the second name is officinalis, and that means medicine, really. Any plant whose last name is officinalis came from the officina, which was the little room that the monks used to store all their medicinal plants. So if it was, lemon balms, Melissa officinalis and Comfrey symphytum officinalis. There's lots of guys that are officinalis. But Calendula is officinalis, so that means it's good medicine, right? So what we're going to do is, this is an annual plant, right? So seed, flower, die every year. Nothing in this bed is alive or any good except the seeds. So we'll harvest all the seeds, but we're going to tear all these plants out and put them in the compost pile, right? And we don't have to replant the calendula in the bed you got it from, because it's self-seeding. I mean, you'll have it forever. But if you want to share some seeds with a friend or somebody you love, you can take them off of the flower heads and save them and give them to them. And then they can have pretty marigolds, right? It's also important to know that the French marigold, which is the common ornamental flower, is a completely different critter. That's not what we're talking about here. This is a very different plant. Pot marigold and French marigold are two different ones. The pot marigold is the medicinal one, Calendula officinalis. But anyway, we'll get this bed cleaned out, and we'll, in a couple of weeks, we'll have little baby calendula flowers from the seeds. If you're planting calendula fresh, for the first time, it's a good idea to just lay a little thin layer of compost or potting soil down, and then throw the seeds on it and put another thin layer on top, and they'll bolt like crazy. You'll have calendula for the rest of your life, and you'll never have to plant it again. So, and what a beautiful addition, and what a great medicine. So what are we going to do with this bed? Well, first of all, we're going to collect the seeds, right? So we can share them, and we may throw a few more seeds in here. That's okay too. Especially, a lot of times these beds will settle quite a bit, and you want to put some more compost in there. You want to enliven and enrich things a little bit. And if you put a lot of compost on top of that, the seeds will have a harder time coming up. They don't like a lot of dirt on top of them. And so if you're putting a good thick layer of compost on there to recharge the bed, it wouldn't hurt to throw some extra seed on top of it too. And then just a very thin layer of soil or compost on top of that, because they don't want any, like I said, the calendula seeds don't like to get planted very deep. So if you do nothing, if it's in like a flower bed in your yard, they'll come up and it'll keep doing its thing. If it's in a bed that you want to really get maximal production from, and you want to put some compost in there and you want to recharge it, and you're going to put a lot of material on it, just make sure that you have some seed that's not too far from the top so that it'll bloom, right? Okay, so this is Doc Jones and Dee Dee, the great gardener from the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine. And we hope you've enjoyed the video. We hope you've learned some things. And if you enjoy learning some things, click that like button, click that subscribe button. And if you want some calendula seed, swing by homegrownherbalist.net and just do a search for seed. We probably have some. And if you really want to learn about medicinal plants, have a look at the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine. I think you'd really like it. And I think times are coming where you might be really happy that you knew some things. So this is Doc Jones and Dee Dee. Want to say goodbye? Say goodbye.
Bye.
See you later.